South Africa is the latest country to temporarily suspend the rollout of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. But the country's drug regulator says no major safety concerns were identified when it reviewed data from an implementation study recently. The decision comes after U.S. health regulators called for an immediate halt to the use of the shot. At least 6 women have reported a rare disorder involving blood clots after receiving the single-dose COVID-19 vaccine. The South African health minister says the FDA recommendation should not be taken lightly and that the suspension will remain in place until investigations into the risks have been completed. Coronavirus infections in India are skyrocketing. More than 180,000 new cases were recorded on Wednesday. Despite warnings from authorities, hundreds of thousands of people are taking part in the Kumbh Mela festival. And part of the Hindu religious ritual is bathing in the Ganges River. Officials say around 650,000 people were in the Ganges on Wednesday morning alone without social distancing or wearing masks. Well, Dr. Bharat Pankhania joins us from Bath in the UK. He's a senior clinical lecturer at the University of Exeter Medical School. Doctor, as I just said, we're seeing this sharp increase in cases in India at a time when other countries such as Israel, the UK, and the US are seeing cases falling. They really seem to be getting the upper hand on the coronavirus because of their strong vaccine rollouts. What's behind the spike in cases in India?
India was doing really well when it had its restrictions in place. Unfortunately, with the dropping of the guard, the virus does not sit idle, and it has been infecting people and then generating more cases. So with the dropping of the guard and the example of people getting together for the Holi festival and now recently the Kumbh Mela taking the dip in the river Ganges, both of those are a lot of people in a small place, crowded place, and that is the reason for the spikes in the Indian population.
Yeah, that many people have criticized the government for even allowing the festival to go ahead amid the pandemic. And police say they are struggling to impose safety rules such as wearing masks and social distancing. And we saw in that video that clearly there is no mask wearing or social distancing. But they are also testing devotees and isolating those who test positive for coronavirus. I mean, surely that can't be enough.
Of course, it is not enough. And testing is an inexact science. The best measures are avoiding human-to-human contact. And if you are just testing, you're doing symbolic testing when millions of people are getting together at festivals and also on the transport network. So I'm in touch with fellow Indians, and I hear that there are crowds on the transport system, crowds in the shopping centers, and crowds with respect to many festivals that India has. And all of these are ingredients for the virus to spread.
What is the way out of this pandemic? We're well over a year into this. And as I had mentioned earlier, we are seeing success in the US, the UK, and Israel. But we keep talking about more people needing to have access to the vaccines. But the vaccine rollouts are still slow in many of the poorer countries. What is the solution? I mean, is it more supply and then more different types of vaccine? I mean, Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson?
So I was talking to our colleagues who work at WHO and elsewhere, and I agree with them. And the answer is it has to be everyone contributes whatever they can to reducing the case numbers. So the way out is suppress the number of cases, immunize people, take infection control measures seriously, and of course, increase the vaccine production. So we need these patents to be released so that we can set up extra manufacturing capacity and immunize sensitive people and healthcare workers, and at the same time undertake infection control measures across the world.
And this comes at the time when the U.S., EU, and South Africa have paused the rollout of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine over this rare occurrence of blood clots. Do you expect that pause or suspension to be brief? And do you think that it will have much of an impact on, say, for example, South Africa, which right now their only option for vaccine is the Johnson & Johnson?
Yes, unfortunately, I think the messaging has not been as good as it could have been. But what can you do in the middle of finding something like we've got 6 cases of unusual, unexpected, very rare blood clots given after 7 million doses. You would only find that out after you had started the vaccination. The good news is this is a very, very rare event, but we've also got to be transparent and open about what we've found. So the better news, I think, is other vaccines are also coming online. And because other vaccines are coming online, hopefully the vaccine program using the other platforms as well will enable us to have high uptake of the vaccines.
All right, let's hopefully that will be the case. Dr. Bharat Pankania, thank you so much.